here. So today we are going to work on a little bit of upper and lower body. This is going to be slightly more work today, just to give you something to do in case you can't make your workout. A way to work those small muscles, those little in-betweens that you're perhaps not focused on all the time. We are going to call it our side seams, so the lateral sides of our body and all the muscles that run up and down there. So what you'll need for our session today, our recovery session today, is a block or some kind of bolstering support. It can be a couple books, just something that can help you if you need it, up and down off the ground. A towel, and along with the towel, you'll need a smooth surface, such as we're going to use the wood today. Maybe you have a tiled kitchen area, something of that sort. As well as a yoga strap or perhaps a belt, or you could even use this towel rolled up to serve the same purpose. We are going to start standing though, so we'll come up to standing. Our first focus is going to be on our upper body. We're going to do a couple things, warming ourselves up, and then working into kind of a version of a pull-up when you don't have the opportunity or the space to do a pull-up. It'll kind of help you keep those muscles active and awakened, those lats that live on the side of your body, active and awakened during this time when maybe you're not able to hang on to or work on your pull-ups. But we're going to start with a strap. I like to call these kind of a good morning type of stretch. I developed my strap just because it's easier. Take a nice wide stance, nice wide arms overhead, a big V, and then you're just going to go side to side. So a nice big stretch side to side. Nothing about this too difficult. It should just feel really good. You can start small and work your way bigger, really jutting that hip out, letting the hands come down as far as is comfortable. Now, as long as your balance is okay, you don't have vertigo or anything like that, you can take this into a big circle down one way, all the way up to a stand, circle down the other way, all the way up to a stand. It really should just feel good. So don't make it too overly complicated. If you find a certain area that's like, oh yeah, that spot feels really good, feel free to come in and out of that a few times. Don't overthink it. Just a little bit side to side. We'll take one more each direction. And then we'll let that go. Coming into some psychic lat pull downs. So this is mimicking a lat pull down, mimicking a pull up without a pull up bar. So we're going to take our strap overhead, that same wide position, twisting those pinkies towards me, so towards the front of you. Pinkies go forward. Rip that strap in two. As hard as you can, put some tension on that strap. Pinkies remain forward. And then in your mind, you're going to attach a 100-pound weight to that strap. And using all of your strength, you're going to pull that 100 pounds down towards your body. Shaking is perfectly normal and acceptable. Once you hit a point where you cannot go any further, you're going to push that 100-pound weight all the way up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to do it one more time. Pull that weight all the way down. Keep the tension on the strap. Keep the pinkies twisting forward. And then we're going to push it all the way back up towards the ceiling. Really, you only need 2 to 3, and then you're good to go. All right, hopefully those lats, those muscles that live on the side, kind of your wing muscles, are feeling a little more engaged right now. We're going to take this onto the ground for what I call body surfing. For this, you're going to need a nice towel. And so it's basically you need a towel that's about the size of your torso. We're going to clear the space here. Give yourself a little bit of a runway. Set the towel down, and you're going to set yourself up so that your whole torso is on the towel. From here, your arms are going to come out to a Y. Now, your goal here is to keep in mind the psychic lat pull downs. Arms down to a Y. I'm going to press my pinky into the ground and turn those pits of my elbows up towards the ceiling as best as I can. Trying to keep my chest, my pec muscles very quiet as I pull and drag myself all the way down and through. Grab forward, twist, pull, and drag all the way through. Now, we've only got space for about 2 here in this little area that we're working in. But go ahead and take it down and back a couple times. You can stop the video, give yourself the opportunity to kind of wear yourself out. Do about 3 or 4 one direction, 3 or 4 going the other direction. Turn around and go back. Your main focus on these lat pull downs is keeping the lats engaged on the side here with this body surfing. You want to avoid the curling over of the shoulders. You want to keep that neck nice and long and really pull. Feel those muscles on the back of the armpit all the way down into the low back, working and turning on as you pull yourself forward. Once again, this should kind of simulate a pull-up just a little bit, give you that pulling motion when you don't have the opportunity to perhaps be at the gym grabbing on a bar. All right, now we're going to move on to our low body. We'll get ourselves set back up. We're going to come down into our 90-90 position just for a little bit of low body warm-up. Have our block off to the side and available. Sitting up tall in your 90-90, take that right arm, reach across the body. Should feel like a really nice stretch after those body surfing. Reach across the other way. Keep the feet as your fulcrum of movement. Switch the knees. We'll reach the arm across the body. Get that nice stretch. And then we'll reach back. Switch sides. Go again. Reach. And then reach. Taking it back across. Big reach. And one more. And then we'll come back through center. Warming up our hips here, we're going to come up to 90-90 lifts. Having that block ready, just in case you don't do 90-90 lifts regularly. Knees should be on a mat. The block's there if you need it. Come up to a tall stand on your knees and squeeze those inner thighs towards each other. Squeeze the butt, and then with as much grace as you can, sitting the hips back and down, kissing the butt to the ground. And then we'll bring ourselves right back up to a stand. Hug the knees in, squeeze the glutes at the top. And very gently, very carefully, set your butt on the ground. We'll take about 2 more, lifting up, squeezing in, and slowly lowering down. Watching for that momentum here. You don't want to throw your torso forward to bring yourself up. Try to really press down through the knees. Use the core, use the outer hips to pull yourself up to a stand. We'll take 1 more. And then lower it back down, and then we'll switch sides. Once again, block is there if you need help getting up and down. Knees are on the mat, ready to go. Keep in mind, this is a whole new side, so use the block if you need it, particularly on that first one. Pressing down through the hips. We'll lift straight up, squeeze the inner thighs towards one another, pull the butt together at the top, squeeze those glutes in, and then as carefully as you can, set yourself, kiss that butt to the ground. Those last few inches are the hardest, so keep control there. Press down, lift up, squeeze in, and then slowly lower down. We're going for about 3 more. Once again, this is a new side, so keep in mind you want that torso staying up. Take momentum out of it. Try not to throw your torso forward to get yourself up. Press down through the legs, lift, squeeze the thighs towards one another, squeeze the butt. Last 2. Last 1. Very nice. And then we'll take it all the way up to a stand. We're going to come into what we call in the yoga world cross-arena lunges, but basically our side-to-side lateral lunges here. Taking a nice wide stance. I often see people take a shorter stance than they really need. So once you take your stance, take an extra step out. Typically you need a wider stance than you think you will to actually make this happen. Different than our lateral lunges at the gyms, I'm going to ask you to keep your feet flat on the ground, all 10 toes facing forward to the best of your ability. A little bit of a turnout is not a terrible thing, but try not to be completely duck-footed on this. Toes as far forward as is comfortable for your hips. We're going to take this side to side, but slightly different than the ones that we do in the gym. As you come down, I now have a plane of movement for my hips and my torso. They're going to attempt to stay right along this plane as I bend into the opposite knee and take it across to the other side. So I'm avoiding that pop up in the middle. I want to keep it nice and low. Keep the hips down. Keep the spine and hips along generally the same plane as I go side to side in this lateral lunge. And now I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to pretend I'm a speed skater. I'm going to really push off and use that outer hip to push myself from the left to the right while still maintaining a nice solid low hip placement, that same plane of the hips as I go side to side. Taking about 2 more to each direction. And then we'll bring ourselves all the way up to a stand. Those are our prostrate lunges. Coming into one more inner thigh workout here. We're gonna do knee slides, inner thigh knee slides. So it's a little bit of a setup. I'm gonna change directions. So what I want you to come into is a nice single leg kneeling position. So put as much padding under this standing knee as you need to make this comfortable for yourself. The opposite foot is going to come onto your towel. I highly suggest having a block or something ready in front of you in case you get stuck down and you can't get back up. It's a nice prop to have. But your goal here is to get your inner thigh on the opposite leg working. So I'm going to try to keep it, once again, the same plane my knee and my foot are in. Drag that towel out, coming down as low as I feel comfortable, but only so low that I can then pull back in and recover what I lost. So dragging it out, trying to keep that toe forward, and then pulling together, dragging them towards one another as I come up to a stand. We'll go for 2 more. Straight out, dragging it back in. Last one. And then pulling that all the way back through center. And then we'll switch sides. Taking it over to the other side. High kneeling on one leg. Opposite leg comes directly out to the side. Once again, make sure it's not forward, it's not backwards. It's in the same plane as that knee. Knee and arch are lined up. Block is here if you need it. So if you get down there and you're like, I went too far, push your hands into that block and bring yourself back up. Keeping in mind this is a different side, so giving yourself some leeway for it not being the same as the other side. Dragging that foot straight out, pressing down, pulling it back up, cinching it closed, taking it all the way down, but only so far that you feel like you can recover the distance that you lost. Going for 2 more, straight out, and then pull it back in. Last one, straight out, pulling it straight back in. There we go. All right, excellent. We've got one more here, coming onto our spine. So we worked our upper body a little bit, we worked our lower body a little bit. Now we're gonna come onto our backs for a move we call sidewinder. One more that you're gonna want your towel for. Once again, you want your full torso on the towel. This is a low back and oblique workout here. As you come onto your spine, you're gonna stack those knees above the hips. Getting yourself nice and set up. Now my goal here is not to press my spine all the way into the ground, but I'm also not arching away. I'm trying to maintain a nice neutral spine. Somewhere between that arch and that flex. I'm gonna brace my core as if I'm about to deadlift something. I'm gonna take my hands behind my head. Now my head should be pressing my fingertips into the ground here. I am not lifting my head up off the ground. My head is gonna stay in contact with my fingertips. My fingertips are gonna stay in contact with the ground. The whole purpose of the movement is just to pull that rib and pelvis towards one another as you crunch to one side, come back to center, and then crunch to the other side. You'll notice my head stays on the ground, my spine stays in that neutral position. All I'm doing is crunching my rib and pelvis together on one side,
crunching my rib and pelvis together on the other side. Taking it side to side, just about 5 to 6 times each side. I highly suggest going slow with this to begin with and working your speed up as you perfect it. So slow for the win until you can maintain the precision. If you can keep your spine from overextending or over flexing, then you can pick up the speed. But once again, your whole back of the body stays in contact with the ground the entire time. All right, excellent. There you have some ideas for some things you can do at home. I highly suggest going through these on a regular basis. They are great little trinkets of areas of your body that don't get a lot of attention. So give them some attention in this time. I hope you enjoyed it. You can follow me at Move with Kevin on Instagram. Thank you very much.